Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I am Matt Modi, and the Dong Report is back in your life. What we're doing in this video, giving you the Dong Report, which is my favorite MLB home run predictions of the day. The way that I play these home run predictions is I give you guys 7. I play them in a round robin by 2 on FanDuel. Generally, if we can get 2 of the 7 to mash, we will have a slight profit. Anything more than that, and we are very profitable. Unfortunately, that did not come to fruition yesterday, as I did not get any of my 7 home run predictions to cash. It was a pretty brutal day yesterday. I had a couple close calls. One guy we had, Jesus Sanchez, he hit the ball 400 feet, but it was into dead center, so didn't make it out of the ballpark. But it was just a pretty brutal day overall. Now, 2 days ago, we were on fire, getting 3 of our guys to hit a home run. Yesterday, that was not the case. So we were down 1.05 units yesterday, as that's how I play these round robins. On the entire season, I did recently switch up the format. So initially what I was doing was just giving out 3 plays straight up, only playing them straight up. Recently, this is my 3rd day doing it, I've been doing it via a round robin. Now, the round robins is something that I had done separately for the whole year, or I should say since June, late June. And those have been on fire, up over 12 units, over 13 units specifically on the round robins. But if you just take the total Dong Report profit, down 16 units. So that's why you see the 2 different numbers here. I could combine them, make my results look a little bit better, but I did think that was a little bit cheating, so I didn't want to do that to make it look better, just for the sake of doing so. So I want to separate it out so people know exactly where we stand on the year. As for today, 7 more players on Dong Watch. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are not already. Like the video, comment, all that good stuff. And then the last thing I mentioned before I get into it is that I do have, it's called a Dub Club, a subscription where you can get all my picks sent directly to your phone for only $5 a month. Gets you everything that I'm playing. Sign up, $5 a month. If you're interested, check that out in the link in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. And let's get into today's Dong picks. So let's get right through it. Number 1, Dodgers versus Astros game. I'm taking Shohei Otani to hit a home run, plus 240 odds at FanDuel. So this feller, Shohei Otani, this might surprise you, but he's pretty decent, pretty good at crushing baseballs. He's got a ridiculous 4 barrels in the last 4 games, which is crazy. Combined 8 hard hits in the last 4 games as well, which is crazy. And yesterday alone, he had 3 separate hard hits. Now, he didn't get a home run, but 3 hard hits in 1 game is very good. He did go yard 2 days ago, so it's not like I'm sitting here saying that he's on a cold streak or anything like that. But when Otani is in the middle of a stretch where he is crushing the baseball, you're going to want to keep taking him because you know he can go on streaks. So I didn't have him yesterday, but for today, I really like the matchup that he has. So here's hoping that he goes on another binge. He's going up against Ronel Blanco of the Astros. Blanco is a righty. Otani crushes righties. He's got an ISO rate of 200 against lefties. That's great. That's in the great category, I should say. But his ISO rate against righties skyrockets up to 39.2%, which would be the best in the MLB, even ahead of Aaron Judge. And Blanco has struggled to keep the ball in the yard all year. He's worse against left-handed hitters such as Otani. Otani, it's never really a hard sell with him, but I'm very confident he's going to mash one for us. Next up, we're taking Juan Soto to hit a home run. Now, we went with Soto yesterday, and he did not come through for us, but if you look at his stats since the return of the All-Star break, you look at the past week, Soto has been on fire. You can make the argument that he's been the best, the hottest, or the second hottest hitter in baseball over the last week or so. And we've seen him go on binges before, so I don't really feel bad about taking him again today just because he missed yesterday. And in the last week, he's hit 3 home runs. He's got the 4th most hard hits in the MLB, and overall, he's got a barrel rate of 26.1%. Those are phenomenal numbers. He's been phenomenal all year, so it's not like I'm just pinpointing a recent sample size or anything like that. And I love the matchup he has against Cutter Crawford of the Red Sox. Crawford, like Blanco, is a pitcher that has struggled to keep the ball in the yard this season, and especially recently. Now, Cutter Crawford's last start alone, he gave up a whopping 5 home runs. In 1 start, that's terrible. Now, he's not going to give up 5 home runs start over start, and he had been good in the previous 3 starts prior to that. So he was kind of due for a regression candidate after those 3 starts in a row, because all year he's been bad at keeping the ball in the yard. Now, I don't think he's going to give up 5 home runs today. I think he probably will give up a couple. We just got to hope that one of them goes to Soto. 11 of the 19 home runs that Cutter Crawford has given up have come against left-handed hitters. And the biggest difference in his splits, his fly ball rate increases 10%. It's 43.1% against righties, which is already a decently bad number, but it goes up to 53.1% against left-handed hitters. That's the biggest reason why he has struggled more against lefty hitters. So 2 lefties to start the Dong Report. Let's hope they come through for us. Next up, we're going with our third lefty on the Dong Report. We're taking Corey Seager to hit a home run. It's been a pretty interesting season for Corey Seager. He started off the year, the Rangers were coming off of a World Series victory. Seager was incredible last year, and he was just terrible to begin the year. The first 2 months of the year, he was ice cold. He couldn't hit anything. And then at the end of May, he went on a ridiculous, absurd stretch where he hit 8 home runs in an 8-game stretch. 7 of the 8 games, he hit at least 1 home run. And then 1 game, he hit 2. Now, that happened at the end of May, so we are about 2 months past that. But just, he went on that crazy binge. And since then, he's mostly been good. He hasn't been quite as cold as he was to begin the year. And he also hasn't had a stretch where he hit 8 home runs in 8 games either. But you look at his month of July, 261, 26.1% ISO rate is decent. And obviously that number, end of July, May is not in July, so it doesn't include that home run binge in May. And it seems as though he's been coming on a little bit recently. He's got a home run, or he hit a home run a couple games ago. His last 3 games, he's got a combined 7 hard hits, which is pretty good. And I really like the matchup he has today against Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays. Now, Gausman has the name brand of an ace pitcher, but he's having a very, very down year. And Seager has crushed him in their head-to-head matchups. Now, looking at Gausman, he's posting his worst home run per 9 since the 2019 season. And he's posting career worst numbers in barrel rate allowed, launch angle allowed, and average exit velocity allowed as well. Career worst numbers in all 3 of those categories. And looking at their head-to-head stats, they have 14 at-bats against each other. Seager has seen Gausman 14 times over the last 3 years. He's got 7 hits, so he's batting .500. That's good. He's got 1 home run and 2 doubles. That's good. And these 2 just saw each other in September of last year. Seager went 3 for 3 against Gausman with 1 single, 1 double, and 1 home run. Seager's a candidate. If you wanted to ladder him up to 4+ bases, you could do so to be a little bit safer. Obviously, we're just taking him to hit a home run, but that is an option. Next up, we're taking Trey Turner to hit a home run. Now, another batter, you can make the argument, he's been the hottest batter in the month of July, specifically with the long ball. Now, a lot of his advanced stats show not someone that's hitting quite as well as Juan Soto and Brent Rooker and all these guys, but he's been hitting a ton of home runs, and he's done it since the return of the All-Star break, so it's not like the week off made him go cold or anything like that. In the month of July, he's tied with 2 other batters for the MLB lead in home runs with 10. He's at 10 home runs in July. That's very good. And 2 of them have come since the return of the All-Star break. So again, didn't go cold over the break or anything like that. And I really, really like the matchup he has against Carlos Carrasco of the Guardians. Carrasco has allowed 15 home runs this season. 10 of those 15 have come against right-handed hitters. And that's coming in a roughly equal number of at-bats between righties and lefties. Generally, pitchers see more righty at-bats, so the splits are always going to be weighted towards right-handed hitters. That's not really the case with Carlos Carrasco. And despite the fact that he is a righty, he's worse against righties. Fly ball rate, pull rate, hard hit rate, all 3 of them are worse against right-handed hitters. And the most dramatic one is his fly ball rate is 26.5% against lefties, all the way up to 41.9% against righties. It's a 15% difference. Trey just hit one 2 days ago. Let's hope he can do it again today. That's our 4th pick. Next up, we got 3 more to dive into. Jesus Sanchez to hit a home run. I'm taking him. We took him yesterday. I'm taking him once again today, even though he didn't come through for us yesterday. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, annihilated the baseball. Crushed it. The baseball went 400 feet. It was just hit to dead center. Couldn't make it out of the ballpark, but he's been really good in the month of July. Obviously, he just annihilated a baseball yesterday, so I feel pretty good going back to him today. Now, if you look at his entire season, stats aren't going to wow you. As I mentioned, he's been much better in the month of July. He's hit 5 home runs since July 1st, 5 of his 12 in a 3.5 week span. His ISO rate in the month of July, 30.9%, 14.3% barrel rate. So the power numbers have been good. And the biggest reason why he's been better in July is those power numbers. His barrel rate has been good all year. It's 12.5% on the entire season. So it's a little bit better recently, but it's not dramatic. The dramatic difference has been his power, his home run, and just him hitting extra base hits and stuff like that. And then as for today, he's got about as dream of a matchup as you can imagine going up against Aaron Savale of the Brewers, who was traded midseason from the Rays to the Brewers. He's been the worst pitcher in baseball when it comes to allowing home runs. Of all pitchers that have thrown at least 100 innings, it's a lot of innings, he has literally the worst home run per 9 in the entire MLB at 1.84. It's a horrible, horrible number. And he's also worse against left-handed hitters such as Jesus Sanchez. Again, all three, his fly ball rate, pull rate, hard hit rate, are all worse against left-handed hitters. Sanchez is a lefty that is significantly better against right-handed pitchers, so it's a match made in heaven, a match made in dong heaven is what I like to say. So Jesus Sanchez, let's hope you do become a one-day late a-hole, but we do have him tonight, so we won't be mad about it. That's our 5th pick. Last 2 plays for today. They're both going to be in the Padres versus Orioles game. One of them is Ryan O'Hearn on the Orioles. The next one is Kyle Higashioka. Hopefully I'm not totally butchering Kyle's last name, but they're both going to be played in this game. So when you play the round robin, you need to play like a normal round robin. You put all of them on FanDuel. You click round robin. You bet it times 2. Once you place that bet, you also need to go in and place these 2 in a separate same game parlay. I explained it in my Dub Club, but FanDuel's weird. They have an aneurysm when you try to do a round robin of guys on the same game. It doesn't actually place it for you. So you need to manually go in and do it yourself. I'm going to say that every video. It's annoying. It is what it is. But the last 2 also happen to be there in the same game. They also happen to be our 2 juiciest plays of the day as well. Now, Ryan O'Hearn, I mean, they're both a little bit deeper cuts, but Higashioka is not that hard of a sell when you dig into his numbers. O'Hearn is weird because he's not an everyday player for the Orioles. He only plays, as my dog comes up and says hi, against right-handed pitching. So his stats are all going to be inflated against right-handed pitching because that's all he sees. But he's facing a righty tonight, as you can guess, and he's been much better. Not much better. He's been good recently. He's got 5 combined hits, 5 total hits in his last 4 games, with 7 hard hits in those 4 games as well. Now, one of those hard hits includes a double that he crushed yesterday, which is helpful. And in general, as I mentioned, he's better against right-handed hitting or right-handed pitching. Like, all of his home runs this year have come against righties. Like, literally hasn't hit a single home run against lefties. Now, he's facing Michael King of the Padres. King's not a terrible pitcher. He's not Aaron Savale, someone that you're really going to want to target, not Cutter Crawford. But he's also not anybody to be scared of either. So O'Hearn hit a double yesterday. He's been good recently. I think he smacks one tonight. Pretty juicy odds we're getting on him. And then lastly, our 7th and final dong pick of the day. I mentioned Kyle Higashioka. He's been phenomenal. Now, he only has 145 plate appearances, so he's got a very limited sample size, and he's not going to show up among the qualified batters. But his numbers are fantastic. 31.4% ISO rate, 14% barrel rate. Those are good numbers, especially that ISO rate. I mean, we put him top 3 in the MLB, that ISO rate. Fly ball rate, 49.5%. Pull rate, 54.8%. Hard hit rate, 43%. All those numbers are amazing. They're elite numbers that would put him among the best in the MLB if he had enough plate appearances to qualify. The risk with him is that he generally bats at the bottom of the order. He bats 8th, he bats 9th. So that does just limit his total number of at-bats. That's obviously not great. But the Padres are going up against one of the ultimate meatball pitchers in the MLB, and Dean Kremer of the Orioles. Kremer, he's only thrown 69. That's very nice innings, so he hasn't pitched enough to be a qualified pitcher. But his home run per 9, 1.83. That's Aaron Savale level bad. That is worse than the MLB level bad home run per 9. Allowing a barrel rate of 12.1%. That's terrible. A decently high fly ball rate of 43.1%. That's also terrible. And FanDuel is pricing it at plus 1,300 odds, which is crazy. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to take him straight up, because if he hits a home run and he's the only one that hits a home run, that would suck because we wouldn't get credit for it in the round robin. So I myself put a quarter unit on him standalone. Now, I'm not going to track it if he does hit one standalone. I'm only going to track the round robin, but I would recommend placing him standalone because the odds are such a long shot odds. And I also like Jurickson Profar as a long shot play on the Padres as well. I think those two are worth diving in on. I didn't want to have 3 players in this game, so that's why I didn't take both of them. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an all-you-can-dong buffet going up against Dean Kremer of the Orioles. And that's all we got. 7 guys, hopefully that come through and hit home runs for us tonight. We are counting on Shohei Otani, Juan Soto, Corey Seager, Trey Turner, Jesus Sanchez, Ryan O'Hearn, and Kyle Higashioka to hit home runs. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Remember, I play these as a round robin by 2 with a total of like 1.05, units risked is how that ends up. The math ends up working out for me. I basically put $5 on each combination, which comes up to 21 bets for $5 each. $105 risk total because my unit size is $100. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll reply to as many as I can. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the Dub Club if you're interested, and have a good one.